A great philosopher once said that a wise man learns from his mistakes, while wiser men learn from the mistakes of others. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the 6 worst Shipt shopping mistakes that I've ever made, how they resulted in 1-star ratings, lost opportunities, lost income, etc., as well as what you can do to avoid making these mistakes yourself and become a wiser shopper than I was. Stay tuned to the end of the video if you want to learn about a new way to get rating forgiveness faster, and without further ado, let's jump right into tip number 1. Tip number 1 is not attempting to call the customer after they're not responsive to my text. Now, at least once a week, I try to call a customer that doesn't respond to my text, and I get these messages that say this call cannot be completed, this number is no longer in service, and things of that nature. So when that happens, I contact Shipt support, have them note the order saying that the customer cannot be reached, and they also send an email to the customer. So in that case, if I get a 1 rating and it's time to submit rating forgiveness, I have proof that the customer is unresponsive, so it's really not my fault if they don't like what their substitutions were or their lack of substitutions. And on the other side of the coin, if the customer does answer and I've been texting them what the things that are out of stock are and giving them options for substitutions, a quick call will resolve all those issues, get me through that order, get me to checkout, may even save my tip and or make me more money. The time that I didn't attempt to call the customer after they were unresponsive to my text, that's one of the first times that I got a 1-star rating with Shipt. I wanted substituted some muffins that they had in mind for a variety pack of muffins, and the substitution was too different. I did get a 1-star rating, and although I got rating forgiveness during that time between the 1-star rating and then getting reversed through rating forgiveness, it was about a week, and I had to deal with lost opportunities and lost income during that time. And of course, I didn't get a tip either, which leads me to my second mistake, which is repeatedly delivering to customers who habitually do not tip. This is pretty much a result of not tracking the customers in Google Maps, and when I get an order from that person, not having something to fall back on, thinking that there's somebody I haven't delivered to before, and getting a repeat disappointment and
emotional damage.
And in the cases where it's not at least qualifying me for some type of bonus, it ends up becoming a big L on my part. Alright, so mistake number 3 would be not contacting Shipt support enough. On multiple occasions, Shipt support has basically told me to use them like my personal secretary. Nonetheless, there's 3 main things that I use Shipt support for. Number 1 is moving order times. A lot of people don't know this, but Shipt can actually change the time of the order you're delivering. Sometime in December or January, I got an order from a Target, and when I went to go shop for the order, I found out the store was still closed, and the order was basically due in the same window that the store opened at. So I found out after the fact, after I already delivered that order late, that what I should have done was contact Shipt support, told them what was happening, and they would actually move the time of the order to being due an hour after the store opened. So that's something that I could have done to prevent getting a late arrival on the order. The second most common thing that I contact Shipt support for is when I try to reach a customer that's non-responsive. I contact Shipt support, let them know the customer is non-responsive, I let them know what the issue was, and they mark that order to basically provide me support for getting rating forgiveness if somehow I get marked down on that order. Now, the third thing that I commonly use Shipt support for is when I have to return a prescription delivery. If you go to do a prescription delivery, the customer is not there, you're supposed to return the item back to CVS. You got to get the person's name that you returned the prescription to, and after that, you contact Shipt support, and you get basically an extra $40 for returning that item. Now, this works with regular orders as well as promo orders, and in the case that it's a regular order that would qualify for the bonus, you still get marked as on time, you still get credit for completing that step of the bonus.
You still got the money?
Yeah. And I got the yayo.
So it's not a loss in any shape, form, or fashion. Be sure to contact Shipt support whenever you run into any of these issues to help keep your ratings up and help you make more money as well. Now, before I get into mistake number 4, talk about the worst Shipt mistakes I've ever made, do me a favor and hit that like button if you're getting value from this video. It tells YouTube that this video is good for the community and helps it spread to more people. Now, on to mistake number 4. So my 4th major mistake is not applying for late forgiveness quick enough. Now, late forgiveness is different from rating forgiveness because with late forgiveness, you only have 3 days or 72 hours to submit your claim, versus with rating forgiveness, you have up to 14 days or 2 weeks to submit it. Now, with late forgiveness, especially compared to rating forgiveness, it's much more of a courtesy and something that you don't really have to prove, versus with rating forgiveness, you got to have all these facts and details, etc. Half of the time, I have the notes from Shipt support on the order. It's just me not being diligent enough, and ultimately, it's resulted in me taking my on-time percentage to as low as 94%. You know, when you have have one bad late, maybe it affects 2 orders because you took too many. That's what typically happens when it comes to me being late for an order. So don't make this mistake. Make sure you apply for your late forgiveness quickly and don't end up like me. All right, so mistake number 5 is delivering the wrong bags to the wrong customer. Now I know what you're saying. Dash Theory, how can you do that? I got a stacked order that was a big order and a small one. I had one in the back seat, I had the other order in the front seat, and when I got to the first customer's house, I delivered the backseat order to them, which was the wrong order. Now, as I'm driving away, no more than maybe a mile or 2 away, I get this text coming back from the customer. That's not my order. So that means that A, I can't deliver the order in my car to the second customer. I gotta go back immediately, wasting gas, wasting time, wasting mileage. So I go back and I get that right order to the customer and deliver the second order to the right customer. And no more than an hour later, I noticed that I get a 1 rating. Obviously, it's from this customer. And with this specific case, although I got approved for rating forgiveness, for some reason it didn't fall off of my ratings. So I actually had to apply for rating forgiveness twice, which made me lose opportunities for essentially 2 weeks. So the last mistake, and probably the worst Shipt shopping mistake I ever made, was actually forgetting a bag at Target. So when I went to go shop for the customer, everything was great, had a great relationship with them. They were a Shipt customer, so it wasn't a prepaid order. It was one where I went through self-checkout, scanned all the items, submitted the receipt, bagged them myself. So I go, I pack it up, I deliver the order in time, and within about 5 minutes of delivering this order, I get a text, hey, I'm missing this item, I'm missing that item. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I did leave a bag at checkout. And me being the person that I am, I went above and beyond. I picked up the bag and delivered it, even though I didn't have to. I was too afraid of getting deactivated, if I'm honest. I thought that there was a chance I wouldn't get a 1-star rating. I thought that there was a chance that I would get a tip, but I was wrong. So probably within an hour of delivering that customer's groceries, I see the 1-star rating is Shipt. Now, luckily for me, this was after the Shipt update. So what Shipt has now is this new instant rating forgiveness system where out of your last 50 orders, the lowest rated order won't be counted towards your overall rating. Now, it'll still show, like for example, if you have 49 5s and 1-star rating, you'll see that 1-star rating when you look at the last 50 people that rated you. Nonetheless, when you look at your current overall rating, which is what affects the offers that you get from Shipt, you will still see a 5.0 rating. So luckily for me, when I did that, Shipt had that instant rating forgiveness in place, especially because it was the first and only time that I've ever been denied rating forgiveness. Now, if you got value from this video, do me a favor and hit that like button. And before you leave, let me know in the comments below, what's the worst mistake that you ever made when doing food delivery or grocery delivery or any other type of gig app? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel as well. And if you want to learn about my highly successful method to consistently get rating forgiveness, watch this video now. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, dash optimally.